I didn't have them do any of the actual skill on the beam on these, just the drills leading up. But you could see on that last one how the transition, just move them back a little bit, now land on the beam, ends up being very simple because it's psychological. Beam is all psychological. All right, back handspring. So this drill, this first one is great for starting out, but great for athletes that aren't understanding the push through the legs in the back handspring, and they're pulling up from the knees. I see a lot of coaches wanting to work like the extension of the legs so that they understand how to extend, to get rid of the bent knees on back handsprings and lay out step outs. And truly, the problem of the bent knee comes from the extension of the hip and the back part of the body. So think about it. If you just even stand there and try, if you're extended back through the top back part of your body and through your hips and squeezing your butt, you can't really bend. You can, but if you jump and you extend through the back part of your body and extend through your butt and your hamstrings, your legs aren't going to bend. So most of the time, the bend in the leg happens there, not from a misunderstanding of how to extend. So this exercise, these first two are really great.
And go. Then lift, squeeze, and hold. Beautiful.
For that. And you just have them hold in that position for 5 to 10 seconds and bringing their attention. A lot of this and a lot of doing these drills is not just having them necessarily do the drills. It's what we're bringing their attention to, so the athlete understands what the point of the drill is and what part of their body is working and functioning. And here, we're bringing the attention to the back part of the body, the extension in their back, in their hip, in their glutes, and in their hamstrings, and all the way through their toes. The understanding that this is how you jump and reach into your back handspring. One more time. And this is great for all athletes, even those, elite athletes. If they ever start getting loose a little bit in the leg. And then this drill also, it's not just beginner back handspring drill. All these girls are higher level. To do this without using their arms. So they have to rely on that previous drill they just did, the extension on the back part of their body.
Then lift it by your ears, no arms, legs, and extend to the back. Go, lift, and extend.
As you can see, they don't use arms at all. Arms stay by the ear and you stay in the shape. So you're completely relying on that extension and the push, the lift of your hips in order to get you over on the back handspring. Love that drill. Okay, then moving on. A nice jump. A lot of you guys have done this before. Here I'm focusing on that push extension through the legs and seeing a very small split. I don't want a big split, I want a small split, so their hips remain square. And then pushing through the shoulders on the second half. And then with a TheraBand around their ankles, moving up from there onto a panel mat. Landing square, looking for shapes. There's a line on the panel mat. It faded, but there was a line on this 8-incher. So again, they have their eye line. They see where they're landing, which direction they're going, where their hands are, how they're hitting. Here we have the TheraBand around their ankles because I want that second leg to come down quickly behind the first leg. So there's not this big open split. With a big open split, you end up having a lot of room for hip movement. So we want to keep that split a little bit tighter. And then up on the panels, take the TheraBand off. She's working a 2-foot, so we did snap down. So the lines on there, same thing, that's a pretty good back handspring though. And here again, I'm focusing on eye line. I'm focusing on extension through the hips, shapes, and for her, looking at her eye line and seeing where are her feet landing. Being able to see her feet and actually asking her, what are you looking at, what do you see? You see your hands, you see your feet. Okay, 3/4. Again, I love the use of the barrel mat because 1, you don't have to spot, especially now during COVID. And 2, in order to get over the mat, you have to set from your hips first. If you jump and turn early, you're going to land sideways. You're not going to make it over. this is a great way to begin that. And then second half. So what I'm going to have her do, I first show her the eye line. She first does the half over. And then she just continues turning a little bit more than a half. And my goal is for her to land sideways. So I put her on the mat first, sideways, in this position, and have her cartwheel out of that, on the mat. Lay sideways, turns, see your line, see the beam, cartwheel out. And then have her do the full jump, landing in that position. All the way around, sideways, cartwheel out. Wasn't totally successful. But here again, she has that line on the mat. That worked. And see, this was the first time she actually did that. So this skill is really not difficult to learn, especially because you have sight of the beam the whole way. So it's also not that scary once you get the hang of it. Show it one more time. And a nice rotation, cartwheel out, especially when you break it down that way, that you're just landing 3/4 and cartwheeling out. Moving on. Okay, layout, step out.